I'm known as the shy cousin. No, just kidding. What I'm actually known as is the cousin who doesn't have any preparation right now or any plans to get married. So I want to say this like right now, aunties and uncles, I don't know when I'm going to get married, okay? And 2017, we have like a streak going on in our family. 2017, we have Joseph, who got married. 2018, Paul. 2019, we have Mark, going to get married. And then 2020, my cousin Gian, she gave me an ultimatum. She said, Ken, you either get married in 2020 or you run for president. So everybody please vote for me in 2020. Something else you don't know about me is that I'm an only child and I'm 1 year older than Paul. So Paul, as we've been growing up, you were like a younger brother to me. And just like any other younger brother, I found you very awkward. So whether it would be like when you were younger, you would be afraid to go into a car wash, and if you went to a car wash, you'd start crying hysterically. I was like, man, this guy's awkward. Or as when we took swimming lessons, and it was in a public pool with a whole bunch of other kids, and then you swallowed too much water, you threw up in the pool, everybody evacuated, and then swimming lessons were canceled for the whole entire day. So I was like, man, you're awkward, man. And in 5th grade, when we all wanted, we had like peach fuzz as a mustache, you, as a 5th grader, had a full-grown man's mustache. It was awkward, man. But there's something going on, something clicked for me that said, no one is able to make fun of my family except for me, right? So in junior high, Jeff Beckerlick, I don't know if you remember this, I heard about him picking on you. So I gathered my friends, and when Jeff was alone, we surrounded him and we said, if you ever mess around with my cousin Paul, I'll end you. He never messed around with you again. It was gangsta. Right? So we've been through a lot. We've been through. I couldn't memorize everything that we've been able to do. So we played video games, watched movies, we celebrated every holiday together. We went on a cruise. We went to the Philippines, New York, Toronto, Montreal, Vegas. Family parties at least monthly, camping. Graduated from college the same year. He took me snowboarding for the first time. We celebrated New Year's in Tahoe. The list goes on and on. But one of our favorite memories is when we actually lived together. It was the ultimate bachelor pad, We had more beer in our refrigerator than we had food. We would play Diablo 2 all night. We'd watch Battlestar Galactica. We had poker nights. We had parties. The best thing was that we were a Golden State Warrior season ticket holder during the We Believe year. During that We Believe year. And it was, I know, right? I know. And during that time period, if I had a date, you would give up your seat. If you had a date, I would give up my seat. If we had cousins or friends come over, we just buy more seats. It was awesome. And during that time period, we would also talk about God. And I know that sometimes you had some questions about God, you had some struggles with God, but it's totally healthy, right? But I know that God has a plan for you. So one day after going to church, I ran into an old friend, and my friend said, Ken, there's this church group called Singles for Christ. You should join. And I was like, well, I can't right now because I have some commitments. I'll tell my cousin Paul about that. So later on that night when we were talking, I said, dude, there's this church group, and it's called Singles for Christ. That means there are women that are single, and they're into Christ. Join, man, join. So many months later, I was working in the mountains of Oregon, and every week I would call you up and just catch up on what's going on. This one particular phone call, he said, I met this woman, and I'm really into her. Her name's May. And I was sitting over here in a rock, and I'm like, oh, dang, what? And I said, is she from Singles for Christ? And then Paul said, yes. And then I said, I told you it'd be worth it to join it. I told you, man. So from then on, we've been dating. So, May and Paul, since you've been dating, I just want to say I thank you and I appreciate you for including me and our family in your relationship. we've gone camping together, we played games, family parties, watched movies, so many different things. And when I was studying for my master's in San Diego, I didn't know anybody in San Diego. So both of you flew down to San Diego and you spent the weekend with me, so I wouldn't feel so alone. And and you've also invited me to celebrate your anniversary with you. You went to LA, we went to the Getty, and you would take like a couple's picture, and then I'd be off onto the side, and I'd be like a creeper taking a picture of it. And we just had a lot of fun. I've never felt like a wheel in your relationship. As your marriage is starting out right now, I still see some awkwardness with you, Paul. It's your reactions, and you know, like, huh? What? Or you sweat when you get nervous. You sweat when you laugh. You just sweat a lot. Or the fact that you snore. You snore really loud. Even last night with the groomsmen, we're all like, man, you snore. I had earplugs on too. But may I like to say, like the trade-off is the type of man that you're getting. Paul, he's a man of God. He professes the gospel with his actions, not only his words. He also shows up. He'll show up for you. So for me, I spent my birthday with my family every single year except for 1 year. And that was that 1 year I was in AmeriCorps. The second year that I was in AmeriCorps, Paul flew all the way from here to Washington, D.C. to spend the weekend with me so I wouldn't be alone on my birthday. There's been times when I was staying in San Diego, I was really hard up. I couldn't afford rent. Paul and he would just send me money. This rent. He will, at the drop of a dime, drive my parents, my mom, my dad to the hospital if it's an emergency or whatever needs to be done. He shows up. Another thing is, Paul, he has a pure heart. Unlike me, I never known Paul to make fun of somebody. And he also has the best intentions when he does something. So he's a strong character through and through. And lastly, which also touches my heart, is that he loves you so much, man. I just watching him today. When he talks about you, he likes that. And I wish you could have heard him, how he was speaking when he wanted to propose to you. It was like that first time I heard him on the phone. He was so excited. So I just want to say that to be the best man of an honorable and great man like you, Paul, it touches my heart. And God willing, if you have children, you can change that title from best man to best single uncle ever. So I like to be able to go ahead, propose a toast. Everybody grab your glasses, put them up in the air, everyone. May God bless your marriage and your lives together. Cheers!
Cheers!
Please vote for me 2020. We're taking shots outside. I love you all. I love you all.
All right. Very emotional, very heartfelt.